Dude, I'm snagged.
What are we on? Episode 6, right?
Episode 6.
So, welcome, Snagged listeners, Snagged, Snaggies, Snagged? Welcome, Snagged. Episode 6 in the books. We got Josh Honeycutt all the way across the pond and Dean Marandino here to talk everything we can about our favorite Texas rig baits. How's it going, Josh?
Yo. What's up? Coming to you from the Korean quarantine penitentiary. I know I got my cellmate over there. He's probably like, man, this dude's
He's lost it.
yeah. But nah, chilling, ready to get out of here and get out there in the world again.
Yep, I feel that, man. Well, so just to give all the listeners a quick rundown of my last week, I have been reorganizing bait. When I'm not working, I've been going through all my baits. I've been trying to prepare myself for the warmth that we've gotten here in Oklahoma. And I'm going to make the most out of the opportunity that we're being given right now, and I'm going to try and go out and get hooked up tomorrow.
Yeah, man, you got the spawn coming up. That smallmouth spawn's going to be there, and right after the smallmouth spawn, you got the largemouth spawn. You got two of the best lakes for both of those species around you. So
yeah, I'm
get out there and hit them up.
Stoked. One thing that I have yet to do is catch a smallmouth here in Oklahoma, and it's not for a lack of trying. I think it's more for a lack of continuity because I just have not been out there religiously enough to kind of get a good pattern going.
Right. I think once you start really targeting them, though, man, you're going to pick them up real easy. It's the same thing as, like belting with the rocks and stuff. It really is.
Yeah. So, like I said, I really haven't been doing too terribly much this week. Busy work week, but finally Friday, thank goodness. So, what about you? What have you been up to? How did you get where you are?
How did I get where I'm at?
Yeah.
Well,
did you
swim? Huh?
Did you swim there?
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. It was a long swim. But I got my sea legs, so
you're trying to become one with the fish.
Pretty much.
No one I don't know what I've ever met has ever been more dedicated sounding than you do right now to fishing.
Dude, I'm telling you. Now we flew out. I can't even remember when I flew out, dude. I've been here for a week now.
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is really. I'm still trying to figure that out. But like as far as fishing goes, man, I've been kind of looking at maps, trying to see if there's any tackle stores around here. I mean, I'm here for work.
Oh yeah.
But if I get time, I'm definitely gonna get out there. I know there's bass here in Korea. Found that out. So looking forward to that. I might even go out there and try to hit up some of them snakehead or something. Who knows? But
just get out there and experiment, man.
Yeah, man.
It's
a good place to do it.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously the last couple of weeks, we've kind of slowly gotten into a rhythm where we're going, once every 2 weeks. Last week we dropped the backlash episode. We got a little bit of uptick of views on that stuff, so that was kind of nice. We've seen a huge bump in our Facebook activity. Not gonna say anything about that. Still haven't seen the viewers from Facebook kind of dial in on the podcast, but hey, we'll get there. And for those of you who are listening, thank you for your return.
Absolutely.
But without further ado, Josh, I want to go ahead and give you the floor so that you can kind of take us in.
Awesome, dude. Pretty excited about this. It's gonna be fun. It's a chance to really just talk about our favorite baits. You know what I mean? A lot of times lately we've been really hitting hard on techniques and stuff like that, but this one's just strictly, the soft plastics that we like to use on a Texas rig. So I'm just gonna go ahead, no particular order here. I'm gonna go ahead and go with my first one, man. Stick bait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the stick bait, man. That's my I think honestly the stick bait is probably my go-to for Texas rig fishing. Out
Dude,
of all the baits I use.
I will tell you right now, uh, just because we had talked on the phone earlier, and I told you I was going to grab my tackle, grab my baits that I wanted to talk about, and
Mhm.
out of the five, 80% of the ones that are in front of me are all stick baits. So,
Just different style.
so different colors, slightly different textures to them, and then well, I'll get into it, but
Yeah.
I love
So,
it, and I think I picked up a lot of that from fishing with you, because prior to, I would Texas rig all kinds of stuff, and I think it also has to do with the fact that in Texas I did not see a lot of uh, I didn't see a lot of action happening with lizards there, so when it
yeah.
came to this rig, I was crushing them on stick bait.
Yeah, dude. Like, so I mean, there's multiple brands of stick baits I use, right? But I think for the most part, my favorites are as far as Texas rig goes is Yum Dingers, man. The Yum Dingers. Usually throwing them in a green pumpkin or like a black with some sort of flick.
Okay.
That's my go-to colors usually for uh, a Yum Dinger on a Texas rig, man. And the reason I like it is because I think obviously durability and price wise, you know what I mean? Like you really can't beat those.
Yeah, you can
Um,
pick up a pack of those for $2.99 pretty
yeah,
much everywhere.
and at 30 a 30 rack for like $8, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely best bang for your buck, and I'm gonna piggyback off this because I currently have Yum Dingers, green pumpkin, sitting on my table that you gave me for Christmas, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I already, a couple of other packs, but this is just the brand new one that I have sitting in front of me, and I also have that as one of my five top Texas rig baits. And I think there's something to be said about the Yum Dinger and the flexibility, or I guess the realistic action of that worm. It it has so much action um, compared to some others. It's got a. I'm telling you, for $2.99 for an 8 pack, it is worth every bit of that.
Ab-
Dude, I'd pay $5 for a pack of these worms.
Absolutely. Um, the other thing I think it has to do with the salt content in those worms. You know what I mean? Because they don't sink. They don't sink as fast as your Yamamotos or your Berkeleys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think that has to do with a lot too, the salt content and the flexibility, and then also like the way it moves in the water and how the sinking ratio of it. You know what I mean? Even though you have you're going to have a weight on it,
yeah,
but if you're not pegging your weight, which I mean, we'll get into that when we actually go into Texas rig techniques and stuff. But when
yeah.
you're not pegging your weight, that worm's going to follow behind your weight, and it's going to sink a little bit slower, and it has a different action to it. And I think, I mean, I've been very successful on them.
Yeah, and I mean, we love obviously this lure because of its applicability and how successful we've been with Texas rig. But I mean, you can throw that thing weightless Texas rig. You can throw it with a split shot rig. You can throw it
Yep.
Carolina rig, wacky rig, jig head. I mean, you can literally throw it on a drop shot if you want to. I
Mhm.
have a drop shot with it, but every single other one of those, Carolina wig, wacky rig is money on
Yep.
small with this color and that dinger, man.
Oh yeah.
So
And then this out of all the the baits, my Texas rig baits, the thing I like to do with this one the most is drag it. That's my
yeah,
favorite thing to do with a yum digger is dragging it.
yeah,
It's not really a popping bait, you know what I mean? It's not something you want to jump up and down, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's to me, it's more of a dragging bait.
I think, I mean, I think most of those techniques I talked about, for the most part, they're all techniques where you want to remain contact with the bottom and get some of that feedback from the bottom,
Hmm. All
with
right.
the exception of weightlifting. So you went over one, and I had to kind of piggyback on it. So that was actually one of mine, but I'll go ahead and go into my second one, and then you can follow up. Is that cool?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, so I'm gonna hit them high, and I have a feeling you're gonna hit them high with this same one, but I think you prefer a different color than I do. So without further ado, I love the Berkeley Powerbait Maxent, the General, and to tell you the color, I love the green pumpkin candy red. That is a bait that, I mean, even if you're not trying to, even if you are not targeting bass, if you're targeting pretty much any fish, freshwater, you can you can get really lucky with this color. The first fish that I caught last year on my boat was on this, and it was a catfish. Believe it or not,
Catfish, huh?
I
Killing
I,
them Berkeley Generals.
I literally killed him with a Berkeley General. And dude, you would have thought that I caught a mega bass because the way that I set the hook on that thing, I'm surprised damn jaw off. So
So,
the Max scent, it's got all kinds of garlic, shad kind of stink on it and in it. Um, they come in packs of 8, and that's really the only size that I've seen. I haven't seen the big bulky packs like Yum Dinger and some of those other brands do. But um, pros, they have that fish attractant, and I think some people are going to probably disagree. That's okay, but I think that attractant does make a difference. Um,
yeah, I think the thing about attractant, man, I think attractant really it does lure them in because we science pretty much tells you that these fish go a lot off their scent. You know what I mean? Like apparently they can smell the caloric intake and they can smell amino acid.
yeah.
So there's something about it. You know what I mean? And as far as like color goes for the Berkeley Generals, I don't have it as listed as one of mine for
Oh,
Texas rig because
that's what I caught the last fish we were talking, or that you and I went fishing together. That was the
yeah,
last I caught. It was off one of these, but it wasn't the green pumpkin candy. It was what color?
wasn't a green pumpkin.
Of course it
Or
was the only color.
yeah, green pumpkin. But I do like the black ones too, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But I usually use those for wacky rig, man. That's what I usually use for wacky rig. A Yamamoto or a Berkeley for wacky rig.
So, um, I mean, it's got all kinds of flakes in it. So when you see it hanging up on the shelf, I guarantee it's going to pop out at you. It does have a flat color to it, so it's more dull. It's not shiny. Um, the really the major downfall of this bait is it breaks so easily. It's very it does not have the elasticity of the dinger and of some of these other baits that I've got in front of me. I
It's
mean,
more durable. It's more durable than Yamamoto though.
it is. It is. I agree. I agree with that statement. But I mean, it's not like some baits where if you put a hook in, you catch a fish, you take that hook off of the bait and you can't even see the hole anymore. You
Mhm.
catch a fish, and I mean, it's obviously got a lot to do with hook set and how sharp the fish's mouth is and things. But I can't get this bait to last me more than 2 to 3 catches.
Yeah, I'm about the same, man.
So it is again. This is probably. I mean, it's in my top 5, so I'm not gonna put it above anything else right now because I think all of the ones I've got in front of me are pretty equal. But it does not have the elasticity, and it doesn't last quite as long from my personal experience. And I can buy.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if it's a 3-month-old bag that's been waterlogged in my boat, or a brand new package from Bass Pro or wherever you buy it. Um, it's got nothing to do with, you know, the bait being dry or anything like that. It's just
yeah.
I haven't had it last very long for me. So that's the
I,
only
I,
I've got for that bait.
I
What's
I
your
think it might be the salt content tin in those, but yeah. My next one, man, is actually I'm gonna kind of like I got two baits that kind of I do the same thing with, right? But I'm just gonna hit the first one real fast. It's the Ultravive Speed Crawl by Zoom.
Okay, yeah.
Ultravive Speed Crawl, man, that is one of my go-to creature baits for basically for the most part is for I use it a lot for grass. I like using the Speed Crawl in the grass. Getting it down in there and then kind of just pulling it upwards. Just lifting my rod tip and then that those claws on the speed crawl
Yeah.
displace so much water,
Yeah. I
and it
I like
just
a good craw for a Texas rig, but I had a feeling you were gonna have more diversity than me, so I was okay with kind of sticking to my. So, all right. So that's your first one. What's your second one?
the so that was actually my second bait for the list, but I can go into the third one too since they're kind of in the same. They're kind of for the same purpose of doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but the Zoom Old Monster.
Okay.
I love the old monster, dude, the ribbon tail. As far as like the speed crawl goes for color, I'm usually only using green pumpkin or maybe a watermelon color.
Okay. Yeah.
And what I'll do is I'll dip the tips of them claws in like chartreuse or orange color. When the bite's really different.
Yeah.
But I actually have a couple different colors that I use on the old monster that I kind of stick with, right? Uh, Early summer, I like to use the old monster a lot. That's my favorite time to Texas rig it. Depending on time of days and what part of the summer we're in, will be the size of the old monster I use, either 10-inch or one of them 8-inch ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as colors go, I usually start early summer. What works for me is throwing the green pumpkin a lot.
Yeah.
But as you get later into the summer, and even when I start fishing night, one of the colors I found that I like a lot is plum apple.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I know exactly the color you're talking about.
Yep, it's a
Um,
great color, man.
it's got some flake in it, but it's also kind of like a deep purple almost, like a purple.
Right. So it gives you that really good contrast at night. You know what I mean? Especially on a full moon night, man. I went out there and I think I caught a 7-pounder in a tournament, a kayak tournament on that thing
Yeah.
on a full moon night. Dude, that thing's killer.
That's money, dude. That
On
really is.
a big one too, man. One of the big old monsters.
So I'm gonna follow up with what you just talked about because I have something that I too also really enjoy throwing, and it is on the larger side of baits. It's a 10-inch worm, and it is called the Divine Shaky Worm. It's actually a 9.5 inch,
Oh yeah, I know you like that thing.
and it's made by
That's your
Six.
baby.
And dude, it's huge. It's ginormous.
Hmm.
They also have another one that almost looks similar to well, it's actually called a ridgeworm, and it looks like it's half worm and it's like half of a blade of grass. I've had some awesome experiences with the.
Huh?
I've had a lot of luck with the Cali Magic red color. Um, I found that the June bug red color, also very similar to what you were talking about prior, that's got some awesome action, and it's got a lot of glittery flakes running through it. So it's just an all around really cool looking, and uh, it's a bait that catches fish. I've caught plenty of fish on the 6 cents baits, and I think
That's,
the the ridge worm is really cool, but that divine shaky worms, those are definitely my money.
it looks like a big trick worm, right? Right, almost like the mag trick worms by Zoom.
Yep. It looks
Yeah,
almost identical to that. It's just got more ribs on it, and they're
yeah. It seems like it's a little bit longer too.
yeah, it is. I think that one is like 7.5 for the mag trick.
Yeah,
But yeah, I can't really speak on it being, or I can't really speak anything negatively on their baits because I feel like their baits really do last quite a long time. So, quick story, rewind a year ago, and I caught my PB that day, and it was on a 6 cents one. And then I caught like five more fish on the exact same bait. And the bait, I fished with that same bait all day. Um, and I caught that almost 9 pound bass on the exact same bait. It was thrashing around for a couple minutes before I ended up boating it. And dude, it's just their baits are they their elasticity and the composition of their baits allows them to have a lot more flexibility, I think, than um, some of the other ones. Like I said, it's got more of those more defined ridges on it, so it has
right.
the ability to kind of flex a little bit more. But that is my third bait. Um, I know I hit up two, but they're so similar in length. And you were just talking about a really long bait, so I had
Yep.
to. But my fourth and fifth, I'm gonna go ahead and knock those out because they're right in the same realm. So they're both Z-Man baits. One is called the Big TRD,
Oh
or
yeah,
as I like to call it, the Big Turd.
the big turd.
Yep. And then the last one is the Zinkers. So the Zinkers is your traditional trick worm, or not, excuse me. The Zinkers is your traditional stick bait, but it's got crazy amount of color and clarity. So the transparency of these baits is really wild. And when they
I've
hit,
never seen a zinker, dude.
so I'll send you a picture after we get off. But
Okay,
it's really, and they're the 10 times tough Elastec technology. Those
nice.
will last for freaking ever.
Oh yeah, dude. I think I've put them back in the bag after like smashing like some smallmouth on their last deck, dude, and used that same worm before, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to do that with the yoga pants, the little baby turds.
Hmm.
But the big turd or big TRD is also the Elastec technology. You can use it for Ned rig, but I've found if you throw the Ned rig side of the worm on it, um, it's just a little bit shorter than your typical stick bait. It's a 4-inch bait. And sometimes that smaller profile really does make a difference.
Right.
Uh, but the colors that I found to work really awesome is watermelon red flake and California crawl for those, for the red flake and those. I don't know what it is about bass, but they love red glitter flakes, and it's just wild to me.
I think the bass, man. I don't know if this is correct. I mean, maybe there's a biologist or someone out there who can correct us on this, but I think one of the colors they really see well is red,
Yeah, that would make
and I
sense.
think that's
And
yeah, and I think
and I was thinking maybe it's because if an injured or dying shad has blood on it, then that's
right,
a maybe able to identify a little bit easier.
and I think they also they really it's like a way for them to really target. You know what I mean? Like lock onto them. You know, if you
Yeah,
think about them like a missile or something, they can kind of like lock onto that bait, and that red really helps them with that.
yeah. So I just sent you a picture of the zinkers so you can see.
Okay,
And I mean it's your traditional 5 inch, um, you know, just Texas rig worm. But
nice.
that Elastec technology is ridiculous to me. I've never seen a bait other than theirs that can take a beating and then you put it right back in the packaging. You use it, the next time you fish. So they are, I would say, price point wise, and that's one thing that I really didn't hit on the last couple that I went over. But the general is typically about $5 a pack for 8. The 6 cents, you're gonna run. I mean, anywhere from $5 for a pack, maybe a little bit more depending on what it is that you're getting. But the TRD or the Z-Mans, those all run really about $5 too.
Yeah,
So
dude, which I honestly like. I love Z-Man, man. I do. I love their products, and I don't think that $5 is a bad price for their products at all.
no, because they last forever.
Like I can be like I'll be like don't get me wrong, like I like Yamamoto. It has like areas where I really like to use it, but dude, like I just it's so hard for me to buy multiple packs of Yamamotos, and I could just walk into a store and I could buy every pack of green pumpkin finesse TRDs off the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll be like, yeah, well, it's quite a bit of money, but it was worth it.
Every single one of those is going to last you 5, 10, 20 casts even.
Hell,
Or 20.
5, 10, 20 years, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it. I will say some of those smallmouth they get a little wild. So
mm,
anything's gonna mess up a bait like that, I would have to say it's probably gonna be a smallmouth because they just
absolutely.
fight like crazy. But I wrapped up number 4 and number 5. I want you to go ahead and you
All
know,
right.
lay the framework for everyone to be successful next time they want to go Texas rig.
All right, dude. So my last two are my last resort baits. So, uh,
I don't
and
know these.
I was,
So
huh? I
I
lost you
said
there, bud.
I don't know these.
How do I know them?
No, I said I don't know them. I
Oh,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
So this is going to be
So,
interesting.
yeah, so I'll go with the first one, man. And I don't want to really say it's a last resort because I will throw it first in some occasions, right? And there's some lakes where this really excels. And now it's the lizards, man.
Oh, yep, yep.
A
I
green pumpkin lizard.
I breezed over that when we first started talking about lizards, and I have to say, and I'm not trying to jump in on your piece, but I have to say, man, I love a good lizard in some rivers. River
Yep.
river fishing with a lizard, you're gonna catch fish.
It's
Um,
tried and true, dude.
oh yeah, you're gonna catch fish as long as you've got. For me, I always found that if I'm fishing a river, if I can find a little pool that's not totally getting slammed by the current, that I'm
Yep.
gonna sit in there and I'm going to hook up a fish very quickly.
But this goes back to like bank fishing. The only bait I will use in a creek when I'm creek wading
Yeah,
is a lizard. That is literally the only bait I will carry with me. Like a
yeah,
6-inch green pumpkin zoom lizard, man.
yeah. And Zoom makes. I mean, they've just got a name that it
Yeah, dude.
it's never gotten a black eye from anything. It really has got, I mean, some very trustworthy baits that they catch fish. That's all you can say about Zoom. They catch fish. I would say 90% of the bait that I have, of the plastics that I have, are Zoom.
Yep.
And it's not because you can find them doggone near everywhere, um, but it's because they work.
And
You know,
it's there's
a lot of the bigger companies, Z-Man, um, Six Sense, Guggen, all these, newer brands that are really coming out, they they don't have the reputation that Zoom does yet, and it's because Zoom has just been killing the game since day one.
yep. And the thing is with them too, man, it's like, dude, there's people who are sponsored by other companies who will put Zoom baits in those packages,
Oh yeah,
and they'll be pulling them Zooms out of them packages like it belongs to them because they're sponsored and stuff. But like that's how good they are, man. And uh, Zoom
oh,
doesn't have to advertise.
hold
They
on.
don't have to advertise.
Explain that real quick so that everyone kind of understands what you're saying.
I mean, there's people out there, you get sponsored and whatnot, I think, and I'm I don't want to really want to throw it out there too much, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who do it. I don't know if everyone does that. I'm not gonna say they do, but I'm sure there's people out there who do it. But they'll take them Zoom worms and put them in the packages of their sponsors, and they'll pull them suckers out, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean? And that's how good they are. Zoom has just always been so good, man. And like I said, they don't have to advertise at all. Like
yep.
you won't ever see them. You hardly see them advertise on social media because
Oh
they
yeah.
don't need to.
No, they don't need to. Plus, they've got you know the monopoly Walmart on lock because they can literally throw a Walmart up in any town, and you go to the fishing section. What's there? Guaranteed
Zoom,
Zoom. Yep.
dude. Out here in Korea, man, I was looking at some videos of these tackle shops and kind of looking at these tackle shops around here.
Mm-hmm.
The whole wall of Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
whole wall of Zoom, dude.
Yep. Not surprised.
Yep.
So
But for the that's kind of lizards mostly my bank fishing uh tool, and
yeah.
every now and again, there's certain lakes out there that lizards will excel. But this next bait that I'm going to talk about, man, is my like most finesse Texas rig style bait, man. Whenever I'm not getting a bite on anything and I'm throwing everything on Texas rig or whatever, right? I go to this bait right here, man, and I will catch something. And that's the old fashioned Zoom trick worm. Yep.
Okay. I got
Old
you.
fashioned. What's up?
I said I got you. So
Yep.
so I did not realize that you Texas rig your trick worm.
Yep. Not often, but I mean it's tried and true, dude. You like in a scenario where you're just out there and you're having trouble, man, you throw in that trick worm, can't sleep on it, man.
Well, that's good. That's just good news for everybody because you can find if you can't find because a lot of the stuff that if you go to Walmart, the stick bait are pretty regularly out of stock.
Yep.
Uh, Brickworms, on the other hand, it seems like those are, like you said, they're slept on. Like people don't
It's
use them in every technique possible. They definitely stick to at least from my experiences in North Carolina. Most guys I know who use trick worms, they're drop shotting or they're doing a very similar style to drop shotting, and they're not targeting largemouth. They're targeting like white bass to
yep.
eat and stuff like that.
I mean, it is. I think it's the action in it too, man. Like it does. It doesn't need a whole lot of action to do a whole lot, just because of how long and thin that worm is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has that tail on it. The way the tail is kind of fatter at the end, you know what I mean? And it kind of just the way it swings around in the water, and it's you can drag it, you can bump it up and down, you can lift your rod tip with it. You know what I mean? You can fish it all kinds of ways.
I'm going to tell
You
you
know?
right now, everything you said was very suggestive. So I'm glad we're talking about fishing.
Yeah. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully we didn't break up there.
Yeah.
What was that movie, man? That was that movie Superbad where he's talking to that girl and he's swearing over the phone and she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope that this is not a super bad moment.
Yeah, let's hope.
So,
That
well,
kind of that kind of wraps it up, man. And then, I do have a couple bonuses I wanted to throw out there if that's all right.
oh, yeah, absolutely. I personally actually have one bonus I wanted to throw out. So go ahead. You go.
All right. So, my first bonus is the speed worm, man.
Okay.
It's, because it's a Texas rig style bait, right?
Yeah.
But it's a power fishing technique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of them. It's one of them specialized Texas rig baits. You know what I mean? And you can also fish it like a normal Texas rig, lifting the rod. You know what I mean? All that stuff, dragging it. But like when you're burning it, you're rigging it up on a Texas rig, and it's displacing so much water, dude. So it's almost like a quiet power fishing technique.
Yeah. Yeah. It moves in the water at, a fast rate, and the fish can't get a completely good, clear, you know, um, eye on it,
Yep.
but it it does that. It kind of has the same motion almost of using a fluke, just ripping it through
Right.
the water. So I agree,
And
man.
then
I think that's a great one.
absolutely. And then the Berkeley Gilly, man. I've been on those lately. I still haven't caught a fish on it,
Hey,
but I was
I'm
getting
not
them bit.
I'm not gonna throw any shade at you because I'm not gonna branch out too much. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is the Strike King Ocho.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, dude.
the Ocho, man, that thing is. I don't know how many people have fished with the Ocho yet, but it has kind of these flat sides on it, and it really catches fish in Texas. I'm sure it catches fish, all over the place, but I've seen that thing pull in, 9 pound bass, 10 pound bass
And then
out.
you got the big Ocho too.
Well, and that's so. So the one that I actually have in front of me is the Ocho, and it is a 7-inch Ocho. So
Okay.
she the big one. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
But
thick, thick,
I'm going with the tried and true color, the green pumpkin.
thick
Um,
with 3 C's, man.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So I love that bait. I'm sitting over here dying because I need to find this last one. I think it's down here in this little box because there's another Strike King bait, and it's the last bait that I'm gonna say. Mm-mm-mm. 1 second. Oh,
While you're digging,
I can't find it,
I,
but I know what it is. It's the lobster, the Rage lobster.
oh yeah, dude.
So I've got the green pumpkin blue swirl. I've got the green pumpkin, every freaking swirl I can think of. And then I really love that Falcon Lake one.
Yeah,
So
dude. Rage makes some really good products, and Rage is just KVD, but
yeah,
they're
yeah,
really good products.
but Rage has such a awesome little, line unto itself.
Yep.
But that was kind of my little, my throw into the crawl game because I know you threw in your crawl, but I think that lobster that thing has so much action. The arms are nice and big, and uh, if you've got a good enough, a good enough size weight on it, and the water's not moving too terribly much to where it's pushing your bait around, to where it looks unnatural, you can really catch a lot of fish with that lobster.
Yeah, dude. I've gotten a lot of caught a lot of fish on rage crawls myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I like them. I like rage products, but I mean, I don't know, man. That zoom speed crawl for me is where it's at as far as crawls.
So
But
I'd be remiss if I didn't say, you know, you probably have a lot more experience Texas rigging than me, because you started fishing, you know, tournament wise. You started fishing a lot earlier than I did, so your experience is far surpassed. But I agree, the rage crawl is money. I agree that the Zoom crawl is awesome. I have to say that the stick baits has have done me best in Texas rig.
yeah, absolutely, man. Um, I'm gonna go back before you end this though, and just kind of hit on that Berkeley Gilly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually looking at one out of the package right now. Um,
Um, it's gimmicky.
oh, it's
It seems gimmicky,
nothing
but the
about
thing
that is not gimmicky.
it looks good. It looks too good to be true, right?
Yes.
It gets bites. I found that out. You saw me, you know what I mean, fishing it. It gets bites, but I
It,
can't figure out how to get the hook set on them.
I think I think it needs to be. So I think you do know how to set the hook on them. I think the bites you're getting are smaller fish because the area in which you were getting bites
True.
didn't have big enough fish to really, dedicate or give a dedicated bite.
And
I think
that
they look awesome, but I think you got to have a big enough body of water, and you've got to have the action that you need that day, as far
yeah,
as the fish reacting to bites or
right.
reacting to the bait, not bites.
Absolutely.
But so
But
I'm looking at the time. It looks like it's right around the 43-minute mark. So, closing comments from you, Josh, from across the river. Let us know.
well, you know, I'm about to get some yard time, so that's good.
That's good.
Uh but yeah, man, I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna be working a lot, but the time I do get, I'm planning on getting out there and trying to chase some bass. Definitely gonna be putting a lot of videos up. Hopefully, doing something a little different with my videos. Kind of like exploring, bank fishing. Um, maybe throwing some of the food around here. I know a lot of people would be interested to see that, and I'm gonna be posting all that on Facebook and Instagram, and then I'm probably also going to be posting back on my YouTube channel. I kind of messed with it when I first started,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna try to start, bringing it back and putting some of these videos on the YouTube channel just to try to help people who are coming out here to Korea who like fishing. You know what I mean?
dude, that is
And
a untouched like pool right there. So you're going to get so much activity. I feel, because
I mean, it
there
would
was really not a lot, especially filmed by guys who are not from there.
right. So, I mean, hopefully it helps a lot of people. You know what I mean? Hopefully, because I mean, there are some people out there who put out videos and stuff, and it's great. It's great content and it helps a little bit, But I want to kind of get in the nitty gritty, because people come out here and they don't have, that, fishing. Fishing's our getaway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like to be able to get back, come to this place, you know what I mean, and still be able to do what you love to do is kind of like what I want to be able to show people, that you can still come out here and do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm excited for that, man. I look forward to getting that content up and going.
For
And
sure.
tune in 2 weeks, say. And I think the next topic is going to be what, Josh?
Dude, I don't even know. We haven't even discussed it.
You
We
like
were in
how
the
I
same
did that?
boat as
I
you
just
were.
Heisman that whole thing to you.
Dude, like we got to figure that out. But I mean, yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I
either
think,
a week or 2 weeks, we'll have another episode out to y'all. This ain't gonna end.
yeah, absolutely. And I just want to say again, thank you to everyone who is, repeat customers. We look forward to any kind of feedback that we get from you all. And make sure that you go ahead and follow, like our social media. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. Please go ahead and, reach out to us. We want that interaction, and we want to, we want to know what you want to hear about, and what your thoughts are. So please feel free to reach out to us at any time.